Hey, this is Shirley Solis. I hope that you're having a great day. And I wanted to make this video for you because many of you are asking me about Powerful Parenting Academy. Now, before I tell you about Powerful Parenting Academy and I tell you about the great bonuses that you're going to get with that, I wanted to first welcome you to Powerful Parenting Academy headquarters. Bomb! So, just ever since I was a little girl, I remember just being fascinated with the whole superhero thing, and this year has been like Wonder Woman theme and all of these superheroes and Marvel and DC Comics, all of these superheroes. Like, our family is obsessed with superheroes. And I think that's been a dream of mine. Like, ever since I was a little girl, I was obsessed with these superheroes, obsessed with Wonder Woman, but I also was obsessed with something else. And I was obsessed, or I don't know if obsessed is the word, but I really, in my heart, desired something that every child should have the privilege of having. And I desired in my heart to have a family. And I was raised with my mom. My parents were divorced when I was 2 years old. And it was really tough to know that, at that time already, like, 40 something years ago, 30 something years ago. I'm 42. I'm not afraid to tell my age. Back then, it wasn't that common to have parents be divorced. Like, the majority of my friends growing up in Ecuador, they were married. But my mom was already a single mom. My parents were divorced. And I know that every time my dad picked me up, and he would take me to places, he would ask me, like, do you want to come live with me? And I would say yes. And it wasn't so much because I liked my mom or my dad better, but my dad had already remarried and he had more of that family environment that I wanted. In his house, there was mom, there was dad, and there was another, my sister. So there was already a family there, and what I wanted was to be a part of that family. When I went back to be with my mom, whenever he dropped me off, I would go back and it was mom, my brother, and I, and some aunts, uncles, depending on where we were living at the time. So it didn't feel like family. And so I feel like from that very young age, I had this desire to really have a family, to really be able to have that structure that every child should have, and I feel like now, I guess that's why in my mind, I set out to create this ideal family, this family of superheroes, because I just needed that. I needed that for me. And someone said, Shirley, sounds like you're living your ideal dream. And I said, I am. And I am, because in this family, we have mom, we have dad, and we have 6 amazing children. Children who make me so proud every single day, not because of anything, unusual, although they're pretty amazing, but more because it's like there's this unity, there's this love, there's all of these memories. There's a lot of memories that are negative. We've been through a lot as a family, not just from me being a very angry, resentful mom when I was very young, not knowing how to change a diaper, not knowing how to raise children. I mean, I was not qualified to have children or raise children at all. I was married when I was 18. I was not qualified to raise children at all, to know how to discipline them, how to teach them. Then I was crazy enough to become a homeschool mom. Like, I wasn't even, I had no clue. By the time I was, 22, we had 3 children, because we had one right after the other. So it's really a miracle that almost 24 years into it, we've been married almost 24 years, and that we would have these 6 amazing children, because we had all of the chances to not succeed. We had all of the, the things that you shouldn't do in the book of, like, this is what you don't do when you're going to raise children. Like, you don't get married young. You don't get married when you still haven't grown up and you haven't matured. You don't get married because, you got pregnant and this is what you do. We lost that baby. And so our oldest son today came 2 years later, but you don't do that, right? You don't get married out of, like, not being in love. You don't get married if you have no idea how to raise children or have any idea how to even take care of yourself. Like, so all of these things happened that weren't supposed to happen. So when I look at how we are where we are, when I look at Gus and myself and I look at our 6 kids, it's like, we shouldn't even have this family, right? But we do. And that's the amazing thing, that despite all of these odds, we continued to be together. We continued to persevere. Now, if that wasn't enough, like our background and the way we were raised wasn't bad enough, in Gus's family, his dad was a womanizer. I mean, his dad left his mom after 30 something years of marriage for another woman. So, this dad his dad just basically waited for Gus to be out of the house to finally leave. So, that's like kind of the background that Gus and I had. Of course, it was going to be tough and it was going to be challenging, but we did the best that we could. And, sure enough, as soon as we got married, we started going to a church. We figured that things would be better. And we did all of the things that good churchy people do. We learned how to raise our children with good manners, and we gave them character. But I tell you what, after a few years, after several years, about 10, 13 years into it, all of that baggage from our childhood caught up with us. And what we imagined to be a process that was going to disintegrate our family, we were near divorce, we were separated for 8 months, turned out to be the biggest blessing of our lives. Why? Because Gus and I learned about emotional intelligence. We learned about healing our heart. We learned about how we needed to reconnect. We learned about living at a much deeper level than the majority of people live. We learned to relate to one another, not just with each other, but to ourselves, to God in a different way, to our children in a very different way. We learned to talk about conflict, and we started seeing conflict as something that wasn't negative anymore. We started seeing conflict as opportunities to grow. And, the biggest thing and the biggest impact in our family during that time, because by that time we already had, we had our 6 children, we had our, they already had character, they had great manners. But the biggest thing was that, that's when we learned about unconditional love. Because we realized that all of the things in our childhood, all of the things that we had lived in our life had gotten us to this place of being broken, this place of being almost to the point of falling apart as a marriage, this place of having a teenage son who was borderline depressed because my husband Gus had lost his heart. And so we're in this mess, and that mess turned out to be the biggest blessing, because we each had to become the best version of ourselves in order to surpass the circumstances that we were living. I had to start calling those things that aren't as if they were, right? Have you ever heard that? Calling those things that aren't as if they were. I had to start calling that in my husband, because little did I know he had been living a double life. Little did I know the person that I thought I wasn't. I was not this good, kind-hearted person. I was someone who was really hurting inside, that for so many years I had tried to live the righteous way, but you know what? It was just a model. I was just following a template, but it wasn't, not that I wasn't righteous, but I was trying to be righteous for the wrong things. And it turns out that my righteousness didn't come from that. It turns out that my goodness didn't come from all of these things that I was doing, even though I didn't think I was doing them. But, it turned out that our family was a mess. It turned out that all of these, events, like we were in the homeschooling community, really involved as speakers. It turned out that all of those people that were looking up to us as leaders, we weren't qualified. And guess what? Now all these people were looking at us to be their leaders, and then we weren't qualified. We fall apart. We start falling apart, and we start finding out that other people who are leading are also falling apart too. So that's when we realized this gift of emotional intelligence, learning to communicate with one another, really learning to live cohesively as a family unit, working as a team, and really healing our hearts and connecting as a family was the biggest gift that we had. And you know what? Once we had it, we realized that we needed to give it to somebody else. Like, we had to share what we were experiencing with other families, because we realized that all around were families that were falling apart. Many times they knew it, and many times they didn't know it. Many times they had all of the symptoms we had, and we can spot them from 3 miles away, 5 miles away. We can spot those families that appear to be doing good, but they're lacking 4 powerful pillars that Gus and I have been able to master, that Gus and I, in a very rough way, were able to overcome, and we had to learn forcefully in some of them, because it was either that or our family was going to fall apart. And what are those 4 pillars? If you haven't learned from them before, I want to share them with you because these 4 pillars will totally change your life, okay? So what is pillar number 1? Well, pillar number 1 is the pillar of vision. You know, when I was in high school, basically I loved all these leadership classes. I really loved all these things about business, and I took leadership, right? Like they would always talk about having goals and having a vision and having dreams and so forth. So when I had my own family, right, I wanted to do the same thing. I thought, well, it only makes sense that for family we'd create goals. So I sat down, picked up a notebook and wrote down all these goals that I had for my children. I wrote down all these goals that I had for how we wanted to raise them. Interestingly enough, I didn't ask us because I didn't think we were so naive and so not ready for family that it didn't occur to me to ask them. Like I didn't think to ask, right? But now I know I should have asked him. Like we should have planned this together. And it was probably because I was more like very proactive and he was more like, you know, laid back. And I figured I'll just do it. Like I don't need him, you know, and that's part of the problem like that we had, but we didn't know we had. So, here we are. I'm setting these goals. And I feel like today we have the family that we have because in a very naive way and at a very young age, it just occurred to me to create a vision, to have a vision for our family, for what it would look like, you know. And as the years would go by, every single year, every 6 months, every year, I would write new goals. And I would envision what I wanted our family to be like, you know. And right when we were at the worst and the darkest moments, I envisioned what I would imagine my relationship with Gus to be. I imagined what it would look like for our children to be together. I imagined working together as a family. I just continue to envision it even when sometimes I didn't see it. So I feel like we are today, first of all, because we had a vision for our family. And I want to ask you, do you have a vision for your family? You know, have you thought about what you'd want this to look like? Have you created a path, you know, a plan of action for what you want your family to look like? If you haven't, I want to encourage you to do that because you know what? The majority of corporations, all corporations, if they make it anywhere, they have it. These institutions, you know, Facebook and Apple and, you know, Sappos, they all have a mission statement. They all have a vision for where they're going. Why would you not have one for family, right? Okay, so that's pillar number 1. Pillar number 2. Well, what saved my life when all of these little kids were young was the fact that I learned about character. Character training became my absolute best tool to save my life because let me tell you what, I wanted to hang myself because it was so crazy. It was so crazy. I did not have any good habits. I was the person that would, you know, wait till the last minute to do a paper in high school and in college. And that worked okay when it was just me. But when I had children, I couldn't wait till the last minute. I couldn't continue to procrastinate. I couldn't continue to have the bad habits I had. Okay. So when I learned about character training and I started teaching it to my children, and I created like my own little tweak of things because I would learn a little bit here, I would learn a little bit there, and I don't know, just something in my mind just kind of put it together, and I started training my children in character, and it did wonders because it saved my life. Suddenly I became more disciplined, I became more consistent. Suddenly I was more steady. My children knew what to expect from me. I didn't have to yell all the time. It was like, you know, life at the Solis family was very manageable. It was very peaceful because I learned how to raise them in character. Now, what was amazing about that is that years later, like now that they're working, I can see how much it helped them because everybody's always praising them for how well-mannered they are, for how great character, for how diligent and responsible they are. And I feel like that's because back then, years ago, I was training them in character. You know, even as a homeschool mom, before I would do any other subject like math or reading and writing, I made character my number 1 tool for them and for me, okay? So that was pillar number 2, and it absolutely saved my life and my kids' lives too, because I think I would have killed them. All right, and pillar number 3 was the pillar of growth, right? So as all of this is happening, I realized that in order for a family to stay together, in order for a family to grow, in order for a family to have the strength that we need to have, you need to be growing all the time. You need to be, you know, just pushing yourself to the next level, learning, however you want to call it, learning, growing, stretching yourself, you know, and we have to be doing that as individuals, but also as a family. Well, how do we do that? We do that with chores. You know, you learning new life skills, you learning life skills here at the house, you learn You travel, you get yourself outside of the comfort zone, you teach your children to be leaders. So all of these things are happening while you're learning about pillar number 3. You're like all growing. You're all stretching yourselves beyond, because if you're growing, you're living. If you're not growing, you're dying, okay? So when everybody in the family is got a culture where growth is an important pillar for you, then wonders will come out of that, right? So that's what we did. Then we came to the most important pillar, and this is pillar number 4, the pillar of emotional health. And this is where I told you that things really turned around, because from those first three pillars, like that really had kept us together if we would have been an average family. Okay, that was good. Like that made us a good, stable family. But I tell you what helped us to thrive as a family was this 4th pillar, the pillar of emotional health. If we would have not had that, and we would have not learned that, we would have fallen apart. And we see families all the time that are falling apart because they don't have this last pillar, because they don't have a relationship between the parents, each other, their children, between themselves. You see, emotional intelligence has to do with how we relate to ourselves, how we relate to others, and how we relate to God. And if you're maybe relating to, God in a certain way, then that may be how you're relating to your children. Or you may be relating, or how you related to your parents may be how you're relating to your children. And how you relate to yourself. Maybe you're very judgmental, maybe very guilty. You feel guilty often, you're angry, you're bitter at yourself, bitter at others. Then that's what's going to come out when you're trying to parent, right? That's what's going to come out when you're trying to do family. So all of the issues that we've experienced, we realize so much of it, at the core of it is in the emotional intelligence pillar. When you learn that, that's what allows you to create a family that's totally cohesive, that's totally united. That at the core, everybody is intertwined and everybody's joyful. Everybody can get along, all right? And everybody can communicate in a way that honors one another. So these 4 pillars have literally been the things that have kept our family together. Now, I don't know how, but I put all of this together. I mean, it's really miraculous. It's really amazing. Like, I surprised myself. I put this together and I started teaching it to people. And you know what? I was like, what? This stuff works. This stuff works because it works, because it works, because it works. We started getting results where moms that had little children, they said, wow, this is great. Like my children are actually obeying me. I have more confidence as a parent. The parents that their kids were talking back, they were like, hey, our kids aren't talking back anymore because suddenly we have a relationship with them. Hey, I used to be really angry, but what you taught me in pillar number 4 about emotional health and forgiving my parents and forgiving this and breaking this judgment and, following the catch and release system that you have, Shirley, like all of that has allowed us to really break free, And let me tell you what, these parents would do the course one time and then another time and then another time. And it went from being one single CD to now being an entire 3-month course, you guys. 3 months of Powerful Parenting Academy. And it is just the most amazing thing that parents can take advantage of, because now you guys get to come into Powerful Parenting Academy. You get to learn from us all of the things that we've learned in raising 6 children, mentoring thousands of families, because we've spoken all over the country in the homeschooling community to parents in and out of the homeschooling community. We've also mentored a whole bunch of families online. I've talked to endless amounts of moms over the phone in coaching and mentoring over the last years. We've also spoken and coached moms and dads together. Like, what is really cool is that with Powerful Parenting Academy, we have a group coaching called Superhero Coaching for Powerful Parents. And that's normally, we normally charge like a specific rate, $397 a month for mom and $397 a month for dad. But we offer it as a bonus when you sign up for Powerful Parenting Academy. And you know what? We have 100% engagement rate with the dads. Why? Because we connect with them. Because we can relate to them. This isn't just me doing this. This is Gus and I. And yeah, he's not in the video with me, but that's only because he's working. But he would love to be here. And I said, I'm just going to create this quick video for you guys. But I tell you what, we have dads that are engaged. They're saying that we relate to them. You know why? Because we're not putting this course in this cookie cutter thing like all of the other programs that you've probably learned about being a good dad or good mom, or, this is what marriage is. You respect them, you love. Like, let me tell you, your family's so unique. Your family has a special design, and I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm more going to give you the principles, and then Gus and I are going to coach you on how you take those principles and make them unique to your family. And yes, there's times when we're going to tell you, hey, you should talk to your child like this, or this is what would have worked better, based on what we've seen in our experience. But let me tell you, you're going to have amazing results, because the parents that have worked with us have had amazing results. Like, I still remember John and Mary. John and Mary Landgrave, they're an amazing couple. They adopted a little boy, their nephew, who became their son. He was 9 years old, and it was just the most amazing thing to see this little boy begin to engage with them, begin to be like a family, because they had no clue how to be parents. They only have a 2-year-old. It was also amazing to see Roxana. Roxana had a 9-year-old daughter that she was like, my daughter's manipulative. I can't stand her. She's lying. I was like, whoa, woman. Like, this is how you're relating to, about your daughter. There's some serious issues. And we worked together, and in a matter of like a few weeks, she started seeing transformation, and then there was Shiara, who never, from New York, like, she never had been taught how to raise children. Her schedule was all over the place. She didn't know how to be orderly. She didn't know how to be organized. She didn't know how to run her life. And I came in and I worked with her for a couple of months, and voila, like, she is a friend now, because all of these people have become friends. We don't have clients, we have friends. And we have friends because we get into your heart. Like, we commit to you. We get involved with what you're doing. We get involved with your story, with the goals that you have for you and your family. And it could be that maybe your marriage isn't working real well, and maybe you're hurt from things that have happened in your marriage. Maybe, your kids aren't listening to you. Maybe your teenagers are doing a little bit of back talk. They're giving you a little bit of sass. Maybe you've tried everything, but you haven't tried this. You haven't tried this. And this is the thing that's literally going to set you free, because we are just doing a miracle work. We are raising an army of powerful families. We are raising armies of families that are going to be thriving, not just surviving. Surviving looks like this. You're threading water. You're like, can barely breathe. If you're stable, you're good. You're like up to here. But who wants to be stable? Stable is for average parents. We want to be thriving, all right? We want you to be a part of an amazing community called Powerful Parenting Academy. So this is the deal, okay? So we are looking for 20 families. Actually, it's not longer 20 families anymore, because we've had a bunch of families sign up. I think it's more like 12 to 15 families. So 12 to 15 spots that we have remaining. And it looks like this. Powerful Parenting Academy is comprised. Actually, I'm going to show you in the video, okay? So let me show you right here. Okay, so once you enter the members area, Powerful Parenting Academy, it gives you a welcome video right here. Then you have a welcome letter, of course. You can sign up on Facebook for our private Facebook group through here. And then we have a special message just for that. So this is what your homepage looks like, okay? So this is Powerful Parenting Academy. Then you're going to see, like, if we go to Module 1, this is what your modules look like. You have Power of Videos, Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, Module 4. Power of Videos is where you create the mindset of a powerful parent. In Module 1, we create the Awesome Family Blueprint, okay? This is where you are going to work on pillar number 1, that pillar of vision. So you have all of these different videos that, I don't know why this one's not popping up, but it will. But you have all of these different videos right here. Maybe it's loading. All of these different videos right here that you get to watch. And they're all no more than, 10, like, look at this one. This one's 6 minutes and 22 seconds. So they're all between 6-7 minutes to no more than 18-20 minutes, okay? So in Module 1, you get 5 videos. Of course, you get to download your workbook. This is what the workbook looks like. Every single section has a workbook, and we recommend that you and hubby both download the workbook separately so that you guys can be able to fill in the blank and then have a conversation about it afterwards, okay? So this is what it looks like. By the way, we always, at the end of each video, we have something that says take action, all right? So we're having you take specific action. Both Gus and I are master certified coaches. We've become the top elite coaches, the most elite coaches that we can be. That way we can help you take action to create results for you, okay? So as you see, everything here says take action. So every single video at the end has you take action in your module. Now, here's what these videos look like, okay? Here's what they look like. So I always welcome you at the very beginning.
Awesome Family Blueprint video.
And then I transition. Here we go. And then I transition into the PowerPoints. And at the end, I get into like just a little bit of goodbye again. All right. So it's pretty amazing, right? Then, okay, so you have your workbook. In Module 2, I give you a bunch of super cool things. Let me show you. We give you some amazing PDFs. So you have your workbook that you're going to download. You have character traits list that we give you, the always incomplete resource guide. This is a list of all of our favorite movies, all of our favorite books, so that you can raise your children with character. We give you all of these different character study guides: the responsibility, attentiveness, honor, orderliness, and initiative. And they all look like this. They're two-sided, so they'll always have the definition of the character trait. How do you talk about it? How do you teach it? As you can see, it's all very high quality. I mean, there's no program like this out there. How do you teach it in live? If you want to do a game, if you have younger children, then this is how you teach it. And then you have a declaration, okay? So imagine your whole family saying, I am attentive. I am aware of my surroundings. I am attentive to my parents, teachers, and friends. And here is how you apply it. And yeah, let's say that you have teenagers. You definitely don't want to be like, I am attentive. I am aware of my surroundings, But you will find ways to teach this to your children, because you want to make sure that your children understand what attentiveness is, right? That your children, so parents have adapted this to all of different ages, okay? All of the different ages. Then we have our private Facebook group that looks like this. I mean, parents come in, they share, here's this mom, she's saying, I'm going to be super transparent here about our family meeting with fear and trembling. So people make comments and then they share, I mean, this is huge. She's talking about baggage, pre-existing poor habit traits, bad habits. Like, we get real and we get raw with how you are going to, how you're going to live this out in your family. Okay. So this amazing, powerful Parenting Academy page, this special closed group, is only for our elite parents. But it's pretty amazing because you know what? There's no program like this out there. You are getting literally 5 modules. Power Up Video, which is the mindset of a powerful parent. You get Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, and Module 4. And this will take approximately 3 months to go through. So here's the cool thing, all right? I'm going to show you a calendar, because inside the program, we have a calendar. So that we can guide you, because we want to make sure that this is all as easy as possible. Okay, so I'm going to go back to, all right, so here we go. So for instance, like here, this group is doing beta, this is in July. So this is beta 1, module 1. So we have a calendar. This is beta 2, beta 1. So we put this calendar for how often we're going to be doing calls. This one, apparently normally they're every 2 weeks. So this is right, beta 2, beta 2. And then you see here, beta 2, beta 2, beta 2, beta 2. So we have calls every 2 weeks for 3 total months. That way you can take advantage of this program, and we're going to be coaching you week by week. This is what we call superhero coaching for powerful parents. Why? Because you know what? It takes time to be a powerful parent. You may not know exactly how to do this. You may not know exactly, okay, you're going to start this process, but I don't want you to be on your own. You've been on your own for way too long. You want to figure out how to get you and your spouse on the same page. You want to figure out how to get what you guys have up here, but implement it into your family, right? So when we do the calls, we make sure that you know exactly what to expect. Okay, this week we're going to cover this, and you come in with all of your questions, and we specialize at making sure that we use our coaching skills, our mentoring skills to answer any questions that you have. I mean, we stay on our calls usually for an hour and a half, making sure that we answer every question that you have, that you're not alone, that we are walking you week by week. And what the parents say is really amazing. Like, look how cool. Here, I'm going to show you again on the Facebook group. Here's a mom here. So my first post is directed to Nils. This is a mom, again, that she wanted to encourage one of the other parents. This is what we do. We encourage one another. Here's this dad. He says, someone asked this question, so they're engaged. Here we say, this mom, I mean, this is what she shared after completing the family purpose statement. This is what she called it. This is what they came up with as a family. Like, that's pretty amazing. We always put funny things for you guys to remember. You know, here this mom is talking about chores. She's asking questions about that. And this, again, we put funny little things here and there too, just to keep it more questions. Here she's talking about respect, and just, it is so powerful, you guys, what we're doing for kids. They're introducing themselves. I want to show you, here's another mom. This is what their family mission statement looks like. And yet, love your children as if you won't have them tomorrow, and train them as if they won't have you. So many broken children living in grown bodies mimicking adult lives. Oh my gosh, that's for sure. Okay, but this is us, like, just having fun after a replay video. But this is what we're doing. You know, every 2 weeks we're getting on a call live with you, teaching you about life, like experiencing life with you, so that you can learn, you can ask questions, and you go through the whole thing for 3 months. Every 2 weeks you go through a module, then we get a call, then we go through another module, we get on a call. We spend a whole month on character, and we spend a whole month on emotional intelligence, because we know that you need it. This used to be only 2 months, but now we've extended it to 3 months, so it's a heck of an amazing deal. Okay, and to not take more of your time, all right, because I know that I've got the kids, and I've got to go make dinner, and all this good stuff's got to happen. So what is this? You get Powerful Parenting Academy, and you get superhero coaching for powerful parents for an entire time of 3 months, and all you have to pay is 3 payments of $333. So for 3 payments of $333, you and your husband, or you and your wife, will get coaching. Okay, you will get coaching with Gus and I in a group setting. You're gonna love it, and you're also gonna have access to Powerful Parenting Academy. So for less than $8 a day or something crazy like that, you're gonna be able to get one-on-one coaching with Gus and I. You can be able to learn how to become a powerful family, how to become just absolutely amazing, how to learn all of these things that are related to having a vision. You know why the outside culture is influencing your family? Because you don't have a strong enough family culture. When you know what your family culture is, and I have the first video about family culture is going to shock you, because you probably have a family culture that isn't working for you, but you don't even know it. So I have you do an exercise that just totally blows your mind off, because you're like, oh my gosh, I never even imagined. Like the parents in our coaching program, they said we never expected that. We never expected to realize that we were worse off than we thought we were. Most parents are worse off than we thought we were. You know that question when they ask the husband, the wife, like from 1 through 10, how good are you doing? You know, most people, like the wives would say, well, we're doing 5, and the husband might say 7. Well, really, in reality, they're like a 3. Okay, it's the same thing here. Majority of parents think that they're doing a lot better, because all of the hidden things in the family, they're all down below. You don't know them. They're all deep down, right? But we've seen the signs, because we've been through the mess. We've recovered, we've restored, and we've worked with so many families that we know exactly what's not working in the family. So we want to make sure that we take your family from, you know, surviving down here, from like threading water, being all over the place, taking the kids from one place to another, not being able to relate, yelling all the time, angry, not doing chores, you know, just all of that frustration, to where both parents can be on the same page, to where both parents know how to communicate with their children and to each other about what's going on in the family, where you're looking ahead at your week and saying, okay, this is what we're going to do, where you're having family meetings, which is the most amazing tool that we're going to give you, so that you can be able to communicate as a family and create amazing memories together. And let me tell you, it's not what you think, because the majority of parents that have signed up for us, they're like, oh yeah, we used to do family meetings. It's like, yeah, it's not the same thing that we do. Like, our family meetings are one of a kind. They totally work. And we teach you how to have family meetings where you integrate vision and character and growth and emotional intelligence into your family meetings, which is so different than like a Bible study that you would do where, you know, you're not really knowing what to do. So anyway, I want to tell you that, you know, you have this amazing opportunity to sign up for our program, Powerful Parenting Academy, 3 payments of $333. You can also save some money if you want to do 1 payment of $750, okay? We have an amazing deal with PayPal where you can do 0 payments and 0 interest for 6 months. So you basically have 6 months to pay for the $750. So that's an amazing deal. What you want to do right now is you can click on the link below, and
This is Gus.
right, you will find this page right here, okay, which has all of the information that you want on the program. It'll also have a video that is the replay of our program. That way, a replay of our webinar that we do if you want to learn more about the pillars, just more about the story and so forth. And then this is what everything that it includes. You got Powerful Parenting Academy, this I need to fix, is 3 months of live superhero coaching. You get the Easy Character Curriculum for Busy Parents. And of course, if you want to continue with us, you get into Revive Mentoring. Pay in full $750 or 3 payments of $333 as you see here, or you can do the 6 months, no payments, no interest with PayPal, okay? This is special offer will expire very soon. We are actually expecting a ton of families to sign up because we are going to close this up by next week, by the end of next week. So I don't know when you're watching this, but maybe when you're watching this, it'll have already been closed. So I want to make sure. And by the way, you guys get a 90-day guarantee, like no questions asked. We are so confident that this program is going to make you an elite family, a family of superhero children, so that they become leaders, so that you guys can get along, so that you can feel confident in your parenting, confident in your relationships with your family, so that they will have the character that they need, and you'll have the character you need, and you'll have all of the emotional intelligence that you need as a family. We give you 90 days to try out the entire program. Like, do it wholeheartedly. If at the end of those 90 days you've done the entire thing, you're like, this is not good, we'll give you your money back, no questions asked. That's how confident we are. But hey, you know what? This isn't for everybody. If you're like the kind that just likes to try stuff and then quit, like, we don't want you to sign up. This is just for committed parents. Like superheroes, they're not like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. They don't do the hokey pokey. They're like for real involved. That's what we want. We want fully committed parents. If you're going to tell me, Shirley, I can't afford it, because my cell phone, I've got an iPhone at home, but I can afford this or whatever. It's like, this isn't for you. Okay. We're not cheap, and we don't proclaim to be cheap because there's nobody else that's doing what we're doing with the families the way we're doing it. There's no other place that is using the techniques, that has the experience, that has the superhero, dynamic to raise powerful parents so that you guys can raise powerful and amazing children. Nobody else has this. So we are not cheap. We're like the Mercedes-Benz of parenting, if you would. We're like, we didn't want anything cheap for your kids, and we certainly don't want it for our kids. Like, if we want something for our children, we want the best, okay? No matter what it's going to cost us. So we're not cheap. We're not for everybody. We'll probably offer other things that maybe you can take advantage of. But if you are ready to be like an elite family, to invest in your family, this is not English, this is not reading, this is not, a pair of shoes for your kids, this is not a vacation. This is the parenting training that you wish you would have had when your kids were born. This is what's going to literally cement that strong family. This is the program that's going to avoid that your children start cutting themselves, that they do drugs, that they stop sleeping around, or that they won't have the wrong friendships, that they won't make the right decisions. Why? Because you learned the things that you needed to learn to make yourself a better parent, okay? There's a ton of information out there. I mean, I can give you a ton of list of books that you can go out in the library. You can get them for free. But this is for parents that want to speed up their results, that want to bypass the learning curve, okay? Can you get all this information for free? Sure. I mean, it took me 20-something years to gather all of this data. We went to over 100 hours of training and coaching, one for 3 weeks. The first one was for a week, 100 hours before, 100 hours during the week. And then we went for 3 weeks back, both Gus and I independently. This is our own personal story. We've done this work with our family, and we've worked with hundreds of families personally and thousands of families in the last 10 years. So if you want to like do this work by yourself, like by all means, like, I mean, I've given you the pillars, you can go out and do them. But if you want to bypass the learning curve, you want to avoid the struggle with your kids, avoid them the hassle, when it's not too late, then you definitely want to do this, okay? We'd love to have you on board. If you feel like you're a powerful parent and this resonates with you, and you want to learn and you want to make the best of your family, then hey, we love to have you, okay? So just click on the button below, go to this page on your screen that I showed you, and just click on one of your choices. You can either pay in full, $750, 3 easy payments of $333, all right? Or you can do the 6 months, no payments, no interest with PayPal, and any one of those options will be perfect. Okay, we would love to have you on board. You can look at all the testimonials. We are getting even more testimonials as we speak because people are super happy. We are sold out to you guys. We know that, you know, we are committed to your success, to the success of your family, and we are the only people that are coaching families like this. So join us in Powerful Parenting Academy and Superhero Coaching for the next 3 months and be one of the amazing 20 families that are going to be graduating as Powerful Parenting graduates in November, in late November. All right. So I love you guys. Take care. Thanks. Bye. Make sure that you click on the button, get all of the information that you need. Okay. Click on the button, find all of the information that you need, do your homework. Hey, if you need to write me an email, you know, ask any questions, support@powerfulparentingacademy.com. We also have a phone number that you can call. You can use the chat to chat, and we can answer any questions that you may have, okay? If you want us to talk to your hubby because he's not sure what this is, hey, we'll talk to him too. So whatever we can do to support you, we're on your side to make sure that you and your family become Powerful Parenting Academy graduates. All right, you guys, take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, okay. So right quick, the family meetings, we've had devotions. And so what's happened with us is that, you know, we have 2 of ours just will really get things derailed very easily as far as kind of the dynamics in the devotion. So when we went to family meetings, what it did is we still have that dynamic, but what it's doing is it's giving us kind of that it's more interactive as far as, okay, you know, what were my highlights last week? What do I need help with in this, or what's coming up? What do I need help with? So that's really been a positive. Also the idea of doing something fun. You know, that's been a positive that really hasn't been a part of our devotionals. So we really, you know, that's been pretty good. Now, when it actually comes to, quite frank, I mean, your positive approach with this whole thing has really been very refreshing to me, and I really appreciate it. I mean, just the positive attitude that you bring to it has really been a blessing to, you know, Amy and me, and, you know, it's something that I think has helped us to both take a more positive kind of approach to parenting. And so the other thing I wanted to say is just that doing this together is really been good for our marriage too, because it's given us something to do together. And I think it's just, you know, it's really been encouraging on that, you know, wavelength. I mean, you know, just giving us something to work on together.
So for me, the program helped provide tools for me. I knew the end game I wanted to be at. I knew I wanted my family to be able to talk about emotions and for us to be more organized and to have a clear vision. I just had no idea how to get there. It's definitely given us the tools. Now I think we have to probably go through it on our own again, just so we don't forget what tools we have and we kind of stay in a good rhythm. Right. But it's definitely opened our eyes up to basically widen our toolbox. And now we have all these things we can start doing. We can start talking about our character traits in the morning. We can start doing our family meetings regularly. Like, there's so many cool things that we can do just to make our family better and on the right path together.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How did you, as a mom, it gave you more tools, but I know that as a woman, you also, like, did you expect to get so much for yourself as a woman from the program?
No, I didn't think I would have a lot of individual growth. I thought it'd be more for the family. Yeah. However, I realized that a lot of parenting is impacted by the way I was parented as a child. So it kind of opened up how I have some emotional baggage and just trying to deal with that appropriately, and how once I'm emotionally healthy, it's easier for me to make sure my kids are on the right path for emotional health.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. And what about in your marriage, like in the way that you communicate with how's that?
Oh, so much better. Okay, so one of the things that you would use on us a lot, so we would say something and you would just repeat it back. I've started doing that to John all the time, and I'm trying to get in his head that, John, you're not doing this to me, because a lot of times I'll say something and then in his head he tells a lie and he thinks I said something completely different, but those weren't my words. And so I've started mimicking you in our conversations and repeating it back to him, hoping that he'll start doing that too. I'm just trying to point out to him, John, I need you to really listen to what I'm saying, not what your thoughts are thinking.
Oh, that's great. I love it. So what I'm hearing is that not just the videos were helpful, but that the coaching was helpful too. Like, do you think you would have had the same success without the actual?
No, not at all. Not at all. So the program itself, I guess it was a well-rounded program, because even though you might have materials to read or videos to watch, it's good to have human interaction, because you got to think not every human learns the same way. Some people are visual and some people just have different, some people are visual, some people pick it up by reading a textbook. However, it's good to come at all facets, because then you're really driving it home in several methods, I guess. So for me, reading about it, watching a video about it, and then actually interacting with other people and living it, I think all those together help me to really drill it into my brain, and that's how I need to start living my life.